What's good, YouTube? This is your boy Big Will G here. Welcome back onto my channel. Talking about good things, all things, ever, all the time, which is like him. So, I have a little bit of dilemma. The dilemma basically is where I would really stand with, the whole wrestling world. That'd be everything, all in general. Where do I really stand on all this? Everybody has different opinions about wrestling. It's an opportunity to branch out, to do this, to do whatever, but everybody has their own way of doing things, and don't get me wrong, we all do. We have a choice. But when do you say that, enough's enough? Because I think I'm at that point where now, as a fan, for a pretty decent long time, here, where does everything really stand in 2021 with WWE? Where do things go from here? Does the COVID thing go away? Does it get better? Does it get worse? Do we ever see fans back in the actual arena again? I mean, we do see that with NXT and all the wrestling. Well, what about SmackDown? What about Raw? When are we going to see that happen again? Because I think there's a point in time where people are like, alright, fuck this. Let's see some fans back in Raw and SmackDown. You're seeing that with NXT and All Elite, but you're not seeing that with Raw or SmackDown. I don't get that. But they decided to say, this is not to do the fans. They went for the virtual reality. Okay. That's a decent idea that's decent for now. But when do you say enough's enough with that crap? Because I don't think that's really kind of a fair thing where, okay, you got people on webcams on their houses and, watching events on WWE Network. How is that even remotely fair to everyone else that rather be there in person instead of being on the webcam? You basically you might as well just watch it on TV. I think that's kind of a smarter thing to do, but at least have the fans there in real life, actually in the arena, would make more sense to me. That's how I would proceed to do that, because I don't think having no fans really doesn't do you much good. But seeing them from a webcam doesn't really do you much good either, but at least they're there. In spirit, of course. But it just seems so stupid that you have two brands that have fans, but two of the brands don't. I think that's kind of outrageous, where you have what you have with those brands, and the other two are making a little more money because they have actual fans there, and they're doing pretty well. It just seemed kind of alright to me that from where Raw and SmackDown pretty much started from actually having all these fans from last year before the pandemic hit, and then everything just goes away. There was crowded arenas. WrestleMania was just very sad, but they did what they could with that. I think if we had to go through that again and didn't have any fans or any virtual reality, it would be really the most saddest year ever of wrestling, because there'd be no point of even trying to make a dent into that. It would just be pointless to watch. There would be so many low ratings of that. It'd be pathetic. I mean, I've watched this since the pandemic started for this. It to me, when it first started, it got worse before it got better. It got worse for a little bit, and like a little bit better with the fan base, because you started letting people back into the arenas again. Of course, we're all of that, but with NXT and all the wrestling, they're letting fans in there now with the masks 6 feet apart, all that good stuff. But you could have done that for Raw SmackDown. You couldn't have done that for those two arenas, because that would make it so much lively, so much more energetic, so much better than watching a webcam from your freaking house, like people do now. I don't find that very entertaining. I find that kind of pathetic and boring. I don't see a lot of people getting tired of it anytime soon. I think some people who would be fed up with it and sick of it, like, okay, we want to actually be there instead of being there from their webcam from your own house. It just seems really stupid to me that that's pretty much what they come up with. That's pretty much their brilliant idea of, here are your fans. They're not actually there, but they're actually from, virtual reality thing, webcams and all that crap. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to at least see them and hear them again, but it's just not the same. I don't think that's kind of any fair to anyone else that's gonna not be there. But just to look at what they have around there, it just seems sad. I mean, again, it makes it a little better, more a little more exciting. But at times it's just like you're just so sick of it. You're not enjoying it as much as you used to. I mean, with a fan base, it was better. You hear chants, you hear this, you hear that. You're not hearing that as much. It's just not the same from what it used to be. Because I think with the fan base, you're selling more merchandise, you're selling a lot more tickets, you're making more profit, you're doing better with sales, you're kicking ass with it, and now you're not. You know, I can imagine how bad it could have been when you had no profit at all. You weren't making much money out of any of it during the pandemic. Part of it, I think that's probably what they're kind of struggling with. But you know, to lose money that way and not have fans, if they didn't have fans at all, it would be bad. But it's just at least they moved to a different location. At least that's something that's better than the Performance Center, because I just kept getting more boring every time you watched it. I mean, at least they're at the Thunderdome now. The Dallas Mavericks play. At least that's a little better, but you could use some actual fans there. And I think that would be a little better than what they came up with. I mean, look, our own, it's okay for now, but I think people get kind of tired of that. I think people would be a little bit fed up with it as much as it isn't. They're probably saying that I mean, any fan would say the same thing. It's like, okay, it's BS where NXT has their fans, they're wearing their masks, they're doing their thing, and all the wrestling's doing theirs, 6 feet apart, of course, wearing their masks, but WWE can't do that with SmackDown and Raw, but NXT can, and all the wrestling as well. I mean, I don't get the concept behind that, where you can allow fans in those two arenas, but everybody else has to be virtual reality with Raw and SmackDown. I think it's kind of already a little bit ridiculous in my conclusion, but that's just my thought on it, because I think some people would think the kind of the same way, where you're getting drawn to the fan base more than you would with the virtual reality stuff. And I would feel the same way about that. I think most fans would agree with it, or agree to disagree on it. Where would you rather be in person, or would you rather be sitting home on a webcam? I mean, I would really rather choose being there in person, because I think it's better than just sitting there looking at it from looking. I mean, again, I watch it on TV every Monday and Friday and Wednesday, and I'm good with that. But it doesn't make it any fairer or any different from what they're doing with it now, because they're trying to do the best they can, and they will do better. But you need more talent there. You still need to keep the hype going. It's just not the same from what it used to be. And even with the GMs, I think you need that back. I think we still need general managers. I think we need some proper people to run that company and do what they can with it. I mean, you started doing Raw on the Run. I don't know what happened with that. I think it just probably dead off. People got tired of it. I don't know. But you need somebody to run the brands. You need somebody to run Raw and somebody to run SmackDown every Monday and Friday. I mean, you have Adam Pearce kind of run both brands, but you definitely need somebody running one brand, running the other. I mean, you're still in the same arena, but still, it could help. And I don't know where everything goes from here. I mean, look at the Rumble. It's gonna be in the Thunderdome no matter what. Mania, probably the same thing. It's just not the same without the fans. Again, they're gonna allow a bunch of people for the Super Bowl to go there in person, and they're considering that. But if they can do that, why can't they do it for WrestleMania? Why can't they do it for the Royal Rumble? Make it at least a little bit fair. I think that's kind of a fair deal. If you can allow a bunch of people to go to the Super Bowl in person, of course, 6 feet apart, wear masks and all that, but you couldn't do that for a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. These companies, then you're just losing your mind. I mean, that's just stupid. I think that's something they should really consider, because that would be a fair trade to everybody out there. You have to be there in person for the Royal Rumble, and of course, WrestleMania. That's probably the most fair out of it all. I mean, I would be thrilled with that. I wouldn't want to be stuck around here not being in person. Of course, I'm here anyway, and I'm stuck here, and I don't mind. But again, it is what it is. That's just my opinion. I think most people would agree to disagree on what I see, and I'm just spitting the truth a little bit. That's all. I'm not saying anything negative or harsh about it at all, but you do need a little bit of that. You do need a little bit of harsh and criticism sometimes with that, and I think that's kind of a fair statement to put out. But it's just, to me, it's just not the same. And I think a lot of people have talked to about it, really kind of stand by it. Where okay, this sucks, this isn't fun, and we need the old fan base, we need the old crowd back. You still need that hype. I mean, it's crazy to me. It really is nuts how from one crazy ass pandemic to where we are now. Who knows when this is gonna get better? Who knows when hell this crap's gonna go away? But I don't know. I don't know what this looks like down the road, and nobody knows. But I think, from my point of view, everybody else, I think that all this crap right now we're going through really just sucks. But do what you can. So again, this is Big OG. Like and subscribe. Leave comments down below. Until then, peace.